Sometimes life just sucks, and sometimes it freaking rocks. We will discuss all the things from family and real estate to travel and just life in general. So take a seat, or don't, you do you, and welcome to the Lambadass Podcast.
Okay, so it's funny. I have to tell you guys. So Connor got here while I was filming my last episode, and we started talking about
ASMR.
And so he was explaining, I need you to explain it. This is not, by the way, what we're talking about today, but I need you to explain. Connor, a little fun fact about Connor is Connor knows a bunch of random shit. Like you do. You know a lot of things that are not necessary to know, but are so fun to know.
I'm like Jeopardy, but without the game board.
Yes. Well, you're like Jeopardy without, but see, you're very intellectual. So you still know like a lot of like answers to things, but okay, explain ASMR to me.
What? ASMR.
Sorry. Okay, explain it.
But it's like it's a tingle. So it's quiet noises or weird noises that you put super close to the mic that I guess activates some part of your brain, which puts like a tingling sensation in the back of it, which is weird.
So weird.
Because it's like people, hi.
So weird. So gross.
They're like tap the mic and
but you
it's
were
weird.
Okay, but you were saying that people like Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch
this for like
TikTok live. They'll
for like. Well, Billy was saying like 6 hours.
Yeah,
I can't.
Whole days.
And people just sit there and listen to it, and they get paid money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. I mean, I have heard of this before, but I thought it always had some like weird sexual innuendo. You're telling me it does not. Granted, you're 17, but
it could. I've never been into it.
That's good. Okay, well, I'm fine with all of that. Perfect. Okay, anyways, so that was funny. We were just chatting about that. First of all, you got your braces off today.
Well, the Invisalign.
The Invisalign, yeah, they took. How does it feel?
Smooth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The thing at the top right was polished, by the way, on the paper.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay, good. He was trying to call me this morning. I had to sign this paper. He was trying to call me. I was in the shower getting ready. I'm like, sorry. He's like, I need you to call me and pick up your phone like right now. I'm all sorry. So anyways, he got his braces off today, so I'm super stoked. I actually wanted to talk to Connor today, and I asked him if it was okay before we started, if we could talk about burnout, because now that it's summertime and you have your life back, I want to talk about burnout, because burnout as an adult is super real, right? But there are different ways that adults handle it versus how you handled it when you went through it at the end of your junior year. Why do you say it? Why do you look at me like that?
I don't know. I feel like everybody handled burnout the same way.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it's very different how we handled it. So, or how we each individually handle it. Like, it's funny because, for me as an adult, if I get burnt out of going to work, like, that's not a thing. Like, I still have to go. I still have to do these things. You get burnt out of school and you decide not to go to class. Like, you just don't have to go to class. It's almost kind of weird, right?
Well, I did go to class. I just didn't go to swim.
Okay, so glad you brought that up. If you're my friend, you know this. My child, about 6 weeks prior to the end of the school year, had an F in swim. F, like for fantastic, in swim. And I lost my mind. Like, completely lost my mind. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
It was like after spring break. It was a week after, I think.
I believe you had the grade before then. I just didn't check. No, okay, let me backtrack and say, Connor is also my very good student. Like, you get your stuff done. Like, I've never had to ride your ass at school. Like, you've always studied for tests. You've always done that thing. So for you to have an F in swim when, as a side note, in case this is your first podcast ever, Connor does swim and water polo like for a living. Like, he will probably go to college and play water polo. So the fact that he was failing swim had me seeing all sorts of red. So I kind of want to go into what you think the burnout was from. Do you think a lot of things had to, like, what are things that not kids, but young adults like yourself struggle with in school that get you to that point where you're just like, I'm freaking done?
I don't know if it was struggling. Okay. It was more I woke up one day and I was just feeling sick. And I didn't want to go to school, but I went to school, and then I was like, I'll just go home and do homework. And I'd come home and I'd just be tired. And I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go to practice after school. I didn't even want to swim after school. Like, I just wanted to go home and sleep. And then I would wake up and I wouldn't do my homework, and then I'd eat and then go sleep again. And then that's how it was for like the first 4 weeks. And then my grades started to drop, and then I was already in that like rabbit hole.
Wait. It took 4 weeks for your grades to drop?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I knew my grades were low before spring break, and I knew I wasn't doing too good, but I didn't know if I was sick. I didn't know what it was, because I would just always feel tired. Even on the cruise, when we went on the cruise, I'd wake up at like 10, and then I'd go out for like 2 hours, and I'd still be tired, and I'd go back and sleep again, and then I'd go out. And it's not like I'm an old man and need a nap. It was just I was just tired constantly, and I wasn't going to bed late. I was eating good. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, your diet is fairly good. I mean, you don't eat anything too crazy and you're not. We also need to preface this by saying Connor's not a drinker, so he doesn't drink, thank God. Not that he should anyways, because he is only 17, but let's be real. I know that, you have friends and stuff like that, and, you don't smoke, you don't do any of that stuff. So as a mom, I have to tell you, it was really difficult because we saw a massive shift in even your demeanor. Connor is fun. He's loving. Everything is a joke, even when we're pissed off and it shouldn't be a joke. Like, he makes light of almost everything. So for him to be this way, and mind you, when we were on the cruise, I just thought, oh, well, he's tired and he works hard at school and he's doing this and he's doing that. Like, and again, I do take some responsibility for not checking your grades for sure. But to be completely fair, this is really the first year that I've really even checked your grades, because usually you have a 3.5 or better. So it was very odd for me to log in and see that. I will say, though, you did lie about summer school last year, so I probably should have caught on then. Homeboy told me he was in summer school and he was not. Was that last year or
Learning
year before?
about the Civil War.
Yeah, he was telling me he was learning about the Civil War, and I'm like, Civil War? That's American history, not world history. Oh, well, I totally believed him. Anyways, yeah, we went through a little bit of a rough patch, but every parent and child does. I'm glad we got it out of the way. Now, let me ask you this, because you and I were at Disneyland the other week, and we were chit-chatting, and I was saying, do you think that you were depressed? Like, now, I think depression feels different for everybody, and I think that only you know your body. So when I have days where I don't want to get out of bed and I'm just tired and it's like, forget it, how I don't want to do anything and I just want to cancel all my plans, I always tell myself, knock it off, get up, get out of bed, you need to do this, and then you can rest at this time. Like, if I put it off, it seems to help me. But then I always wonder, is this depression? Like, is this what people who are depressed feel like? Because if it is, it's awful. So do you think?
I can tell you.
Oh, tell me.
I couldn't.
Oh, you couldn't tell me. Oh, I thought you said I could tell you.
No, I can't. I wasn't like I was sad. I wouldn't wake up and just like cry for hours on it. I just wake up and not want to do anything.
And I don't think depression is necessarily like all where you're just sad.
Well, that's the definition of it, is you're just sad for no reason.
But I also think that you get into, it's like a mood thing, right? Like, I think it has to do with like your hormones being imbalanced and stuff like that too. And obviously as a teenager, like, your hormones are all over the place. And as I'm getting older, my hormones are going to start being all over the place too. So it's weird. So can I ask you, what did it take for you to get out of it?
House arrest? You taking everything away from me? Pretty.
Like, literally, we took everything away from you.
Yeah. To the point I started reading.
Well, okay. To be fair, you do enjoy reading, though.
Yeah, but
what were you reading?
You know, I also took up online singing lessons on YouTube.
Yeah, but you weren't allowed to have.
I used my school computer.
Oh, okay, got it.
That was like the thing that was holding me over.
Your school computer. He had to have it because he had to do his schoolwork, so he had his Chromebook. But even still, so then, do you think technology and your phone had anything to do with it?
No.
Do you say that because you don't want me to take it away?
No, because it was the same when I had my phone. I felt the same way. It made things harder, transportation and paying for things, because if I have the Apple Card you and Dad put on my phone, so if I need to go pick up gas, if I don't have the Apple Card, then I'd have to ask you for the card. And then if you're not in town, then before the cruise? No, after the cruise, this was towards the end.
Cruise, by the way, was during spring break.
You and Carson and Dad went with Madison and her family out to Havasu, and I had 19 miles in my car, and I had no gas, so I had to go and get the gas can from the backyard and fill my car.
We use that to fill up the dirt bike.
So I used the 2-gallon gas can to fill up my car, and I got the extra mileage to get to school and back.
Okay.
And then getting lost on the way home from Disneyland was pretty bad.
That was actually hilarious. And okay, so we went to Disneyland, David and I, and then the boys. Why did you guys drive separate?
School.
Okay, yep, that's right. So David and I went earlier, and the boys met us. Get off your phone while you're podcasting.
I'm not taking my wrist.
Oh, I thought you were on your phone. I was like, really, bro?
No.
So the boys met us out there after school, and so we left after fireworks. I think it was right after. No, we didn't see the fireworks. Okay, either way, it was late. And at 9:00, we
were eating.
Where?
Steak restaurant?
No, dude. No, we drove in the same car that time. We left Disney, and you got on the 405.
How did we drive in the same car, and then we left in separate cars?
It was a different trip. I'm telling you, it was a different trip to Disney.
We're talking about the same trip when I got lost in the 405.
Yes.
And you were walking with Jacob and Ashlyn.
Jacob and Ashlyn were not there with us. It was just the 4 of us. Jacob and Ashlyn weren't there with us.
No, because we didn't go to Disneyland.
Either way, I'm old.
We went
I'm wrong.
We ate at the steak restaurant, right? And I remember I drove up with Carson because they had the future business leaders of America there, and then I drove up and Dad told me to go pay for parking and all that other fun stuff at the front. And then we left, and you had to walk, because remember when me and you left Disneyland, you were walking that path, and you're like, this is the path we were walking with Jacob and Ashlyn when you guys got lost.
You're right. I do remember that now. See, okay, I took responsibility before I even knew I was officially wrong, but now I'm totally officially wrong. Yes, mic drop for sure. Okay. Either way, yeah, you're right. That was. But we didn't go to the steak restaurant. We left from Disney.
You left from Disney. I parked right next to the steak restaurant. I parked behind it.
Dude, I totally remember this now. Anyways, okay, thank you for letting us work that out on air. Okay, so anyways, he was driving home and he didn't have his phone, so he couldn't go on MapQuest. You couldn't go on Google Maps.
MapQuest.
I know. I had to explain to my kids what that was one day, and Connor's like, "That sounds terrible." I'm like, "It was awful." And then my kids' cell phones at 9 p.m. turn off in the sense that they cannot use their cell phones. They can use it for internet and stuff like that.
No,
if they have internet connection. If you have internet connection, you can.
If we're connected to a Wi-Fi.
Yes. It's fantastic. So Carson couldn't even look up how to get home. And the only person he could call was me because I'm one of the preferred people on his list. So he's calling me. He's like, "Mom, we don't know how to get home." I'm like, oh my gosh. It was crazy. He couldn't even get my text messages when I was texting him photos and stuff. It was insane. So going back to that, I have to tell you, I'm actually so glad that I did that. What you told me, while that seems terrible as a teenager, as a mom, I'm like, hell yeah, it taught you to be resourceful. If you knew I was going to be gone and you didn't have your phone and you didn't have gas to get in your car and go to work or go to school, you had to be resourceful. You went and found gas in the backyard, or you would have walked, or I just feel that it really made you think outside the box. I know when you were talking to Taylor, and we were talking about this the other night, no communication with nobody. His friends would text me and be like, "Hi, Mama Limbatis. I know Connor is in trouble, but can he come over and watch the UFC fight?" "Hi, sweet love. No, he's not coming over and watching the UFC fight." They would hit me up to reach out to Connor. So after school, he got his grades up. I don't know how you did that. Literally by the hair on your chin.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Wash my teacher's car.
No, you lying. He's like, I literally was like, we went and met with his counselor and all the things. And I was like, you need to ask these teachers if they need babysitters. Of course, we were joking. What did you do to get your grades up?
I just did my work.
Isn't that crazy how that works?
To finish up the school year. I didn't do any of the work that I already missed because most of them wouldn't have taken it.
Because it had been so long?
Yeah.
So, moving forward, now you're going into your senior year. Senioritis is a big thing. You know this because a lot of your friends were seniors and that's who you hung out with. So my question to you is, what are you going to do to make sure that the burnout doesn't happen your senior year? And then my second question is, when it does happen, because it's inevitable, it's going to happen, what actions are you going to take now, having gone through what you went through, to make sure that your grades still stay up so that you go to the college that you want to go to and play polo for the college that you want to play for?
For the first one, I have no idea.
Okay.
For the second one, I'd probably be to come talk to you.
Okay.
Because you're a great motivator.
Am I?
Yeah, when it comes to taking everything away and you have no life. It's really good motivation to really go out there and get your things back.
You guys, okay, so he shares a room with Carson, and I know my kids are older, and so it's like, you know, weird that they share a room, but my kids, like, they're buds. Okay, Connor and Carson are really close. So I walk in, and I had seen his grades, and it was like, this was another time. I'm going to move this down a little bit. I want to see your face. There was another time, and you, the time that I found out that you really weren't in school. And I walked up, and I got right in his face, and I was like, you wake up right now. And he was like, eyes open. And I was like, get your ass in the hallway. I started chewing him out at what time?
It's like 6 in the morning.
It wasn't even that late.
It was like 6:30.
I want to say it was probably like 4. I don't know what happened, but in the middle of the night, I'm like, it doesn't make sense what he's telling me. So I woke up and I checked his grades, and they're like, he had been dropped from summer school. And I'm like, I'm going to kill him right now. It's over for you. So, well, good. Here's my advice to you. So the things that I do to avoid burnout as an adult is I take vacations, right? We know I vacation a lot. We know that Dad and I go to Havasu, or we'll go away for the night, or whatever. You kids are old enough for us to do that, which is fantastic. So while you can't necessarily take vacations, and I know vacations is your love language too, right? Like, you enjoy traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so instead take breaks, right? Like, go and do something fun. Hey, I'm going to work this hard, and then I'm going to stop at noon. And then from noon to 2, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm going to go. You love bowling. This kid, you guys, wanted to pay $40 for summer bowling. Tell me this deal that they have.
It's like $40. You get 2 games, and you get shoes.
2 games what?
2 games a day.
A day. So you could go bowling every single day, Monday through Monday? Like
Monday, the entirety of summer.
Okay. And you could bowl for $40. That's so good. It's not $40 a month?
No, it's $40 for the summer. Can I get that back?
Yeah, you can get that. Yeah, we were talking about that. So, and you get shoes. Like, he will go bowling by himself. He had some time to kill in between. What were you doing?
Picking up Jared's birthday cake.
Oh, he was picking up Jared's birthday cake and it wasn't ready yet. So he totally went across the street and went bowling. It was so funny. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I'm at the bowling alley. His cake's not ready yet. I just bowled 2 games. I'm like, oh my gosh. So, you know, go bowling, you like going to Big Air, go to the trampoline park, you know, get that energy out. I know you were here for some of my podcasts that I was filming last. Like, you have to get that energy out somehow, and it can't stay all built up and pent up. And, you know, you need a break. The one thing that I really wanted to instill in you kids was being sure that you rested your body when you were tired, and when you needed that break, you need to take that. The other thing I want to say is, yes, I want to be here when things are getting bad and you're like, I'm really unmotivated. And sometimes I think a lot of, you know, kids just don't, not kids, but young adults don't know how to tell their parents or people that they're unmotivated. Like, they just don't realize that that's the feeling that they're feeling. So when you start feeling that way, come to me. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to help you in any way that I can. You know, I'll start holding you accountable. Hey, let's work on this together. You know, Carson's in summer school right now. He doesn't want to do that. That's like literally the last thing he wants to do. But if I sit there with him while he's doing his work and I'm doing mine, like, a lot of times it just helps the accountability of other people. So I will be more than happy to help you get through that if it comes down to it again. But I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad that we haven't talked in like a year on the podcast.
Nope.
Has it been a year?
Sure.
Yeah, about a year.
I think it was last polo season. So yeah, it's been over.
Oh, over a year. Okay, well, can I have you on more often?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Thanks for being my kid.
Yeah.
I love your face.
Love you too.